From James M. Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University, Lander Sports Productions, in conjunction with Telecare, presents the LIC Game of the Week. Today, it's the Long Island Class 3 Championship game, a battle of undefeated teams. The Wantagh Warriors, 10-0, representing Nassau County, taking on the Sayville Golden Flashes, 10-0, representing Suffolk County. Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, along with Ed Ingles, on a blustery, cold, late afternoon. But we should be in store for a red-hot football game. Two undefeated teams scoring a lot of points, Eddie, and scoring them in different fashion.
Well, Sayville is a team that averages 36 points a game, has had a tremendous tradition, only 5 losing seasons since 1957. Defense has got 36 sacks. But they're an old-fashioned football team. Offensively, they want to run tackle to tackle, and they want to run behind John DeLuca, a veteran line. And their coach, Robert Hoss, thinks that they're going to win this game. They're going to win it in the offensive and defensive lines in the trenches.
The Wantagh Warriors, on the other hand, Eddie, a team with the real multiple talents in the backfield. A great quarterback in Caracappa, 2 great running backs in Procida and Smith. And the defenses of both teams will be tested by the offenses today.
Yeah, Wantagh is opposite of Sayville because they use a diversified offense. They want to spread you out. They want to isolate you with motion. They want to put people here, gadget plays. Caracappa's passed for 1,400 yards this year. The 2 running backs, Smith and Procida, have between them 4,000 yards in 2 years. This is a team that can hurt you a lot of ways.
Back to Sayville, Eddie, because they love to run the football, and when they run it, they run behind a great running back by the name of John DeLuca.
Yeah, DeLuca's special, big guy, 5'10", 205. He ran for over 2,000 yards this year, 36 touchdowns. That puts him number 2 in Long Island behind North Babylon's Jason Galtney in terms of scoring. He's a power runner. He goes inside most of the time. He gets better as the game goes along. He wears you out because he's so strong. And defensively, he plays a strong side defensive end. He doesn't get a lot of business because teams want to run away from him, but when he gets after you, he knocks you down.
Sayville won their only appearance in this Long Island Championship game, scoring the most points ever in the 12 years of the series, 51 points against Glen Cove. They may have to score a lot of points to beat this Wantagh team today, Eddie, because you just said offense is the name of the game for Wantagh. They've been doing it to everybody. They destroyed Bethpage, their nemesis, and here they are with a couple of great running backs. Let's talk about Rob Smith first of all.
Yeah, Rob Smith, 32 touchdowns the last 2 years. Now, the thing about Smith, a little concerned, he got injured, shoulder injury against Bethpage, played only the first half of that game, rushed for 80 yards, had a touchdown. They're not sure how far he can go in this game. He's a touchdown maker, 32 TDs the last 2 years. The thing about him, he makes you miss without stopping. Very shifty, very quick to the hole, outstanding running back. But we'll see his durability today. Will be tested.
All right. I'll be back to chat with Tom Howard, who'll be joining us throughout the telecast to get a little historical perspective on today's Class 3 Championship game. All coming your way when we return on the LIC Game of the Week. The start of the Class 3 Championship game, the battle of undefeated teams, Wantagh and Sayville. You know, and Tom Howard, who joins us for the telecast, working with Ed and I, it's really an interesting matchup between these two teams. You've got a great tradition in Sayville dating back over 50 years of great football. And on the other side, Wantagh and the Keith Sachs, they've had a great tradition recently.
They certainly have. Keith has had a tremendous tradition, and we heard last week about the new football program they started, the youth football program, which is actually paying dividends today. Let's talk about Sayville first. Sayville has a football tradition, as you said, Barry, over 50 years. Back in 1972, they had a tremendous football team. They had 2 great athletes on the team, Chad Smith, who was the quarterback, and Derek Smith, no relation, who was a receiver. And the coach back then, Coach Madden, led them to a 9-0 record. They beat a great South Champ East Islip team, 17-15 in the championship. Then they come up to 1998. They get to a Long Island championship. Ed Mill was a new coach that year, brings them to a Long Island championship. John Hart, the quarterback, T.J. Brocking, Rob Nugabow has his brother on the team this year. Great athletes, and they score 51 points, which is still a Long Island record in that game.
Well, they've got a great tradition, as you mentioned, Ed. And Wantagh, as I said recently, the great tradition, won in 2001, won undefeated, won the Rutgers Cup. Each team has won a Rutgers Cup, 72 for Sayville and 2001 for Wantagh. Looking at the Class 3 championship game, this is the 13th time they've played. Suffolk has the lead in that 8-4. That's because North Babylon has dominated play for quite a while, but the Bethpage team has also dominated on the Nassau side.
Well, Bethpage has won the four games over here, 4-6 they are in these games, so they did great. North Babylon was down, but it should be. This is really a classic matchup today. You talk about Keith Sachs' club. Keith Sachs has been 43-7-1 over the last 5 years, and most of those losses have come to Bethpage. So you take that away, his team is very, very good. Great tradition, as you said before, Barry, in the Wantagh program. They're looking for a big win today.
Tom, your take on the game?
I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that Sayville's going to be able to keep the ball on the ground inside and score 2 or 3 touchdowns with DeLuca, but I think in the long run, Wantagh is probably going to come out ahead, maybe 28-21.
All right, we'll be back with more from Hofstra, where today the Class 3 championship will be played.
University. We're moments away from the start of today's Long Island Championship Conference 3 game between Sayville and Wantagh. With us now is Sayville coach Rob Haas. And when we talk about the Sayville program, we got to think about your started workhorse in John DeLuca.
Yeah, no question about it. John's really been a workhorse for the last 2 years for us. He's a guy that we go to when times are tough, whether it's third and long or third and short. You know, he's the guy he's brought us this far. We're going to carry him the rest of the way.
Is the strategy going to be today to try and keep that Wantagh powerhouse offense, big playmaking ability off the field?
Well, I mean, that's what we really want to do. What we want to do is control the ball, and if we control the ball, obviously they can't score, and we'd like to, munch some of the clock to, like you said, keep them off the ball.
Is one place in the game where you have an advantage, you think, in this line?
Well, I mean, the way we see it, we break it down. We feel from tackle to tackle, that's where we think we have the greatest advantage. I mean, it's going to be tough. They're very good up front as well, but if we look at one part of the game, we think we have advantage would be up front.
Your team has played some terrific defense all season long. How do you plan on stopping their big playmaking ability today?
Well, we've been a cover 3 team for most of the year. This game we're going to try and give them some different looks, so they just can't key on one thing, thinking we're going to be in a certain spot. So we're going to try and mix it up and try and confuse them a little.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight. When we return, we'll speak with Wantagh Coach Keith Sachs. You're watching the LIC Game of the Week here on Telecare. Everybody, the Hofstra University. Dan Lippinholtz here with Wantagh Coach Keith Sachs. And Coach, in a game like the Long Island Championships, you really don't get to see the other team too much during the regular season. I mean, I imagine only tape could do so much in preparing for a game like this.
Yeah, the unknown is unbelievable because football coaches and all of us prepare very hard, and we have nothing to compare it to. We can look at tape, and everybody runs the same plays in this world, but it's tough to know until you actually line up against somebody. So the unknown is out there, and that's a little frustrating for a coach sometimes.
I'm sure in the scouting reports, though, you're well aware of John DeLuca.
Yeah, I mean, you can't miss him. He's a great job, had a great season. He's a great football player. There's going to be about 20 or 30 great football players on the field, and yeah, usually in a game like this, someone you don't expect steps up. So we'll see what happens.
Now, both teams play terrific defense, but offensively, teams have a pretty different style of play.
Yeah, it's all styles, but the bottom line is both teams are fundamentally sound. They're in the right spots, we're in the right spots. I mean, what we do may be different, but both teams are very disciplined and obviously execute a game plan very well. So should be a very good game.
All right, Coach Sachs, thanks for stopping by. When we return, Barry and Ed will have the start of today's Conference 3 Long Island Championship game between Wantagh and Sayville. Get set for the LIC Game of the Week here on Telecare.
Before the start of today's Class 3 championship game, Barry Landers joined by the Wizard of Hempstead Turnpike, better known as Jovial Joe Giannotti. Joe, ready with his Wizards hat. He's been predicting scores, uncannily predicting scores. He had the Wantagh Bethpage game nailed just right. He's probably going to give us some predictions right now for these championship games. Let's go to Jovial Joe.
Barry, first and foremost, why is Tom Howard making a prediction for a game? He owns 16 or 17 homes. But why is he making one darn prediction, which is wrong? I'm taking Wantagh 35-13. This is not going to be a game. It's going to be all Wantagh. The wind's going to die down, and Wantagh's going to be passing.
Now, Joe, last week you had Wantagh beating Bethpage. You almost couldn't get back into Bethpage where you live. They were going to throw you out of that community.
Well, the police had to escort me from the 135 to my home.
All right, Joe, how about some of the other games? What other predictions you're going to make?
All right, tomorrow's Class 2 game is very, very tough. Garden City, North Babylon. And Barry, in a monumental upset, Gwaltney's going to get stopped on the 2-point conversion, 29-28 Garden City.
All right,
and, of course, if Gwaltney gets hurt, it's going to be a blowout.
All right, Amityville and Roosevelt.
This is Vito's year. 2 years in, 2 years shut out. 3 times the charm. 35-20 Roosevelt.
All right, Joe, the big one, the big Class 1 championship game. Farmingdale against Longwood. How are you going to see that one?
This is very, very tough. Oh, extremely difficult. I think I'm going to take Longwood in this one.
Wow, Wizard, that's a big upset.
A 39-23, Barry.
Oh, my God, Wizard.
39-23.
Wait a second. Somebody else who joins us here, Craig Filizzola, also on our staff. What about that call?
Wait a minute. The game ended an hour ago. What are you talking about? Wizard, what are you talking about? The game ended.
Wait a second. He's lost his hat. You put the hat on now, Craig. What's the score going to be today?
0-0.
I feel like Lee Corso. Oh, this is great. I'm the Wizard.
All right, Craig Filizzola and Jovial Joe Giannotti, two great guys. Hope you enjoyed our little bit of fun. Stay tuned for a great game. It's all coming your way on the LIC Game of the Week. Barry Landers joined, of course, by Tom Howard. Ed Ingles, our referee. You see Craig Marshall right there for the coin toss. And it looks like receiving the football will be the Sayville Golden Flashes. Should be a terrific game. As we mentioned, 13th meeting between the schools, Nassau and Suffolk, in this great Long Island Championship. And Tom Howard, you were around for the very beginning when they started this. This the 13th year.
13th year, and coming into this weekend, it was tied 24-24, Nassau and Suffolk. After 10 years, it was tied 20-20. So it's, and I think after this weekend, you'll probably see, it'll be 26-26, Barry.
Let me correct something I said in the pregame show. Nassau leads this Class 3 Series 7-5, 13th meeting, and Nassau has won the last 4 years in a row. Bethpage winning it back in 2000 when they beat a great Amityville team in a great game, 29-28. Wantagh then won the next year as they defeated Harborfield 17-7. And Bethpage last 2 years won it, beat Islip 28-14. Joe Patriot's team did a great job in that game, a real Cinderella team 2 years ago. And then Bethpage beat Huntington last year 18-7 in the Class 3 championship.
Yeah, Howie Vogt's Bethpage Golden Eagles have had great success in this game. But remember, the Wantagh Warriors defeated Howie Vogt's team last week, so they're ready to play today.
Well, they defeated them twice this year, and they're a powerful team coming into today, Eddie. Anything early we should be keen on? Sayville getting the ball. You know they'd love to keep the ball away from the Wantagh offense, and so a possession here, a 5 or 6 minute drive would certainly be what they'd like to see.
Well, they want to run the ball tackle to tackle, and then Wantagh talking to Keith Sachs, he said, if we start playing 9 or 10 people in the box, we're in trouble. We're going to play our regular defense.
This one taken at the 10-yard line and returned right up the middle, fumbling the football, and that's what they didn't need, a turnover. Let's see if his foot was down. The officials conferring it will be Sayville ball. So the Sayville team holds onto the ball as the return man that time, I believe. It was, well, we'll have to get it for you. It might have been James Sheridan returning the ball. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Let's set the offense for you because it's a good one. Justin Camello is the quarterback, and he's a good one. He replaced, of course, 3-year starter who did a great job, Zach Kirshner. John DeLuca, number 32, is the featured back. They'll work out of a power eye. And Joe Mio is the fullback. He's a pretty good one, number 42. He's blocking for DeLuca as he tries to go to the outside. And DeLuca rolls over a couple of guys and goes up to the 47-yard line at Ingles, a gain of about 17.
Kind of a message all year long. Wantagh has been very strong on the perimeter, stopping the run. Usually Sayville runs between the tackles. That time the old-fashioned Green Bay power Packer sweep. You have Neal leading the way, good blocking, and you saw DeLuca at the end of that thing put a shoulder into the defensive back. Remember, he's a kind of back who gets stronger as the game goes along as he picks up 17 yards in that first game.
Jared Einhorn knocked him out coming up from the safety position. So it's now power eye formation. Camello is the quarterback. Argentina in the backfield with him. And once again, carrying the football is DeLuca across midfield. Let's give you the rest of the offense. Joe Mio is the fullback. Ray Argentina is the other running back. The tight end is a good receiver. They don't throw very often. Matt Messina, 6'2", 180-pound senior all-county player. James Sheridan, also a good receiver. He'll play as the split end. And the offensive line is pretty big. Kurt Norton, number 52. Zach Gallo, super sophomore, 230-pounder. Ed Reeser is the center, 57. Matt Ziss is the left guard. And the left tackle as they go to the left side is Kevin Petrosino. Eddie, he's the kind of running back, John DeLuca, who gets better as the game goes on. And like Jason Gwaltney, you want the ball 30 to 35 times a game.
Well, he spends so much time in the weight room. Squats about 435 pounds. He is just so physically strong. But look at the blocking by the left side of that line. Matt Ziss and Kevin Petrosino, they did an excellent job of just pushing the defense downfield.
And good job there by Joe Perez, the defensive end for Wantagh, stringing the play out, making the tackle. If you notice early in the game, DeLuca was able to get to the outside. When he went up the middle, he only gained 2 or 3 yards, and this time, going to the outside, they strung it out and were able to stop him. Big 3rd and 5.
DeLuca 3 carries, 23 yards. It's 3rd, and let's call it about 4. He'll try to pick up the first down. He's got it. Into the secondary, dives to the 35-yard line, a gain of 12.
Again, though, the blocking. Kurt Norton, the right tackle, a 4-year starter, all-county, very physical. The biggest man on the offensive line at 6'0", 240. He opened a huge hole with a tremendous block.
Let's get to that defense. It's a good one, but it's a quick defense. Joe Puris, 82, and Eric Giraldi, number 30, played the defensive ends in the front 5. Connor Cohn, Neil Walsh are the tackles. Steve Nastro, 155-pound nose guard. And we'll give you the linebackers in a moment. Scott Giraldi, the brother of Eric Giraldi. Anthony Polo, great middle linebacker. Mike Brasida is on the outside. They go to the outside, and once again, this time Joe Mio gets his first carry.
Yeah, they gave it to Joe Mio that time, Barry, and gave John DeLuca just a little break. You'll probably see him carry the ball again, but you heard in the beginning in our open, we were talking to Coach Rob Haas, and basically he thought his offensive line could control the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively. Well, he's showing right now they are prepared on the offense, and they've done nothing but move the ball forward.
I think, watch, they have a lot of people in the formation, the power eye. They get a lot of people at the point of attack. They got the 2 backs leading the way for a DeLuca or Mio, opening a hole. You got 3-on-2 a lot of times at the point of attack.
2nd down, and let's call it 6. Out of that power eye, handoff going to Argentina, and Ray Argentina with a good burst carries to the 20-yard line. Argentina Eddie, a 5'10 senior, and he's got some pretty good numbers, averaging about 7 yards a carry.
Well, he can hit a little different look. That was a counter play, a little bit the misdirection. He is faster than Mio. He runs to space, and he has good vision, kind of a cutback runner. And what you see right now, Tom, is on every snap, Sayville's getting the 5 or 7 yards, which they need, especially on first down.
They certainly are. And you can see now they're coming back up. I don't expect to see the ball in the air at all this drive.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. DeLuca tripped up, slowed up in the backfield, stays on his feet, but run down. Good job by the defense, slowing him up right there. That was Scott Giraldi, the outside linebacker, number 58, who got in first, and then he was brought down by Anthony Polo, the middle linebacker.
Well, they did a real good job of getting a push right off the line of scrimmage. He actually got a gain of 1 on the play, even though it looked like he was thrown for a loss. But now it puts Sayville in a 2nd and long situation. I don't expect them to go to the air on this play, but this is a key play for Wantagh to put them in 3rd and long, because they probably will have to go to the air then, Barry.
Justin Cimello can throw the ball. We'll give you his numbers in just a moment. 49 for 76, 951 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Stay on the ground, DeLuca right up the middle, and DeLuca will pick up only about 3, maybe to the 17-yard line. Give him about 4, setting up a 3rd and about 4.5 yards to go. The rest of that defense, and it's a good one, Wantagh defense, they'll intercept balls. They've returned passes for touchdown. Muscarelli, Einhorn, and Torres in the secondary, Eddie. But you don't, as Tom said, based on the history of Sayville, expect them to throw the ball. But Justin Cimello can throw the ball if need be.
He can throw, but they're in 4-down territory now. They got 2 downs to make 5.5 yards with a back like DeLuca. I like the percentages for Sayville here.
Nugenberger, a tight right end. He's also a good receiver, number 3. They'll go off the left side of the line, and they will not pick up the first down. Good job by Connor Cohn over there. I believe number 72, number 55 also was in on the play. That was Anthony Polo, and number 75, Neil Walsh.
Barry, key play here early in the game. 4th and a long 3 right now. You don't want to have a drive and use up almost 6 minutes off the clock and come up empty. And Sayville really has to come up with a real big play now. And I wouldn't, doubt they take a timeout right now just to make sure you get the correct play.
Took a long time getting the play, and Ed Reeser ran over to the sideline, the center, who calls all the signals on the offensive line.
When they have thrown Sayville, they've been very successful. Messina averages 23 yards a catch, so he can go deep.
All right, everybody in tight, double tight end. And they'll go to DeLuca, slowed up and tripped up. Number 23, Mike Brasida, getting in quickly from his outside linebacker spot.
Great job by the Wantagh D to stop him, because Sayville made a statement early in the game, running the ball. First down, the first play of the game, they went for 12 yards, and they've slowly been slowed down a little bit by this Wantagh team. They didn't come up. Now the Sayville defense has to rise because this potent Wantagh offense is on the field.
1st and 10 at the 14-yard line for the Wantagh Warriors, led by quarterback Eric Caracappa, number 2. 2 wide receivers to the left. They send Smith in motion. Caracappa to throw on first down, looking for the outside, and it is incomplete. Looking for his brilliant all-county receiver, Anthony Muscarella. Eric Caracappa, the quarterback, impressive numbers, 71 for 118, almost 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and he's only thrown 3 interceptions. Mike Precita, you talk about All County. He's in the backfield, number 23, with Rob Smith, 32. Smith has gained 1,229 yards and 15 rushing touchdowns. And Mike Precita, 1,126 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. Both can catch the ball as well.
Wantagh averages 41 points a game, so they can put points on the board. Big thing here by Sayville. Can they stop him?
3 wide receivers set. Smith with that shoulder, and she comes in motion. They look for Smith, and a miscue on the play as the ball thrown behind, down on the field, setting up a 3rd down play. Covering on the play was Billy O'Connor, and freshman linebacker. You talk about youth. Sayville last year had a brilliant freshman doing a great job. Zach Gallo started as a freshman. He's an all-county sophomore this year. And Billy O'Connor, the best defensive player on the team, according to the coaches. He's only a freshman.
Yeah, it tells you what's down the road. Now, what they want to do, they want to get Smith isolated on the defense, because that's the thing that Coach Austin from Sayville was concerned about. Smith, they want to get a mismatch one-on-one, then he can make his moves and cut back.
He comes in motion, proceeded directly behind the quarterback. Back to throw, looks like a screen, and they screen it out to Smith. He's got one man out there blocking, but a fine play by the Sayville defense. Number 42 is Joe Mio, the middle linebacker, who read it well.
Well, you know, he did a great job of reading it, coming up and making the hit. And Wantagh, the potent offense they have, is 3 and out, giving Sayville the ball, and they'll have very good field position. So Sayville, because of that first long drive, even though they came up short, is going to get very good field position.
Mike Precita is the punter. He's a good one. He'll stand back inside the 10 to kick it away. Number 15 back to return the kick is Sheridan, James Sheridan. He's returned a couple of punts for big gainers this year. He'll kick it away from Sheridan. Look at the roll here for Precita. It'll be down inside the 30-yard line at about the 29. We'll be back. No score, 5:42 to go, but a great kick by Mike Precita has driven Wantagh back deep in their own territory, or we should say Sayville deep into their own territory. 10 at the 30-yard line at Ingalls. Tom Howard, a 51-yard kick, no return.
You get that on the rug, artificial surface, kicking with the wind at your back, it's really going to roll.
Well, they had a long drive first time, and let's see what they can do here and 8 up the clock out of that power I formation. Golden Flash's quarterback is Justin Cimello, second team all-division quarterback. And DeLuca off the right side stood up and stopped that time by the defensive left side. Connor Cohn, 72, getting up there, along with Anthony Polo, who had 121 tackles. The middle linebacker, number 55 for Wantagh, coming into play today.
Yeah, a real run stopper, loves to hit. In this game, I think Tom is going to, as we see it develop, both teams going to pound the tackles. Key is whether Wantagh's defense can stop Sayville, especially on first down. Yeah, I was surprised that they haven't changed at all. They're sitting right in that 5-3 straight up and actually did a good job last play.
2nd and 7. Play action. Cimello to throw, incomplete. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver as he went that time for number 42. And that receiver was the fullback Joe Mio. And he had caught 6 passes for 88 yards coming into play today.
And Anthony Polo was on the defense doing a real good job, but it went through Mio's hands. Mio should have had the ball. Could have been a first down play, Barry.
We talk about this Sayville team. Only 8 giveaways all year, Eddie. They're a plus 15. They have really been benefited by a great defense, which often goes unnoticed because of their high scoring.
That's why they're unbeaten. But now they're in a 3rd and 7 situation. This is not a good situation for a running team like Sayville.
Well, Cimello went to the air. He's got a strong arm. He's a little bit raw. He's a junior. He'll look to go to the air here. Has time. Puts a bullet right up the field, complete for a first down. Nicely thrown to Matt Messina, number 21, the senior all-county player, a lacrosse player, headed to Tom Howard's alma mater, Delaware.
And he's going to Delaware to play lacrosse, and great receiver. I was watching him pregame, Barry. Has all the moves, great hands, and if they do decide to put the ball up, look for them to go to Messina often.
16-yard catch. Messina at 6'2", plays taller because he leaps so well. He's like a 6'4" receiver.
Jared Einhorn on the coverage. First completion for Cimello. He's improved his knowledge of the defenses. It was a problem earlier. No problem for this guy as he bulls his way DeLuca. Of course, his dad is a coach The DeLuca family has been a name synonymous with great football in Sayville area.
They absolutely have been, and we spoke earlier, Barry, at the beginning of the year this kid came out, he made a commitment to bring his team to Long Island Championship, and they're sitting here right now, and he just took Ed Reeser and said, get out of my way, number 57, I'm running you over.
He's bigger than those people. For 205, DeLuca, when he gets to the secondary, he's banging on smaller people.
10 carries, 51 yards. They go to the fullback this time. And Mio trying to pick up the first down on 2nd and 3. Got very close to the first down marker. We'll see what referee Craig Marshall says here, if they'll bring the chains into measure. In case you're joining us, it's Barry Landers, Tom Howard, and Ed Ingles. No score with 3:54 to go. It is a first down for the Flashes.
Robert Horst, the coach of Sayville, said, yeah, we have to throw the ball in this game. It's going to be an important part. The wind's dying down. It's more favorable. It's not a wet night. See, the chances as this game goes along, it's cold, but the passing game should be able to work in these conditions.
So Cimello barks out signals. They have wide receivers to the right and left here. No power I backfield. Mio gets the call on first down, and the hard-running Mio, a 190-pounder, 2-year starter. He's a bruising fullback type, picks up the first down.
He does, and Sayville's really impressed me, Barry, so far in this first quarter. I mean, they've kept the ball on the ground most of the time. They run the ball very well. They show they can put the ball in the air. And Wantagh's going to have to start mixing some things up defensively. Sitting in that 5-3, I don't think is going to work for the whole game.
And the offensive line, too, with Sayville, really starting to push the Wantagh line back a little bit. They're gaining control of the line of scrimmage, Sayville, offensively.
Got some size. This 235, Gallo 230, Norton 240 on 2nd down and 3. DeLuca, and that time won't get it. Maybe got a yard on the play. Submarine down low there. Getting up quickly was Steve Nastro, the nose guard. Talk about a little small nose guard, Eddie, at 5'8", 155. Great wrestler. He's a real scraper.
Yeah, when he gets down low, when you're that size, you got to go low. And that time, Tom, I noticed Wantagh put more people in the box that time to play the run. They got beginning to commit more to the run.
They did. Good job there by Steve Genovese. Also, Genovese got off the ball from the tackle position, came down and helped with Nastro on the tackle. They stuffed DeLuca for no gain, and now brings up a 3rd and 2.
All right, Sheridan lines up wide to the right. To the near side is Dan Neugebauer. The pitch to the right side. DeLuca's got blocking out there. Has the first down. Still driving. And they have to gang tackle him at the 25-yard line. A 10-yard gain. First down, Sayville.
Once he gets his shoulders squared up, gets past the line of scrimmage to DeLuca, he can really make some yardage. He's still a bruiser, but he's going to pick up 5-6 yards once he gets in that secondary after you hit him, Tom.
Yeah, he's showing that, he's showing what he's shown every team in Suffolk County. They came in here 10-0, and DeLuca has had tremendous games out there. The Suffolk County teams knew what he could do, and now Wantagh's finding out real fast how good he really is.
Well, he'd love to play both football and lacrosse. Stony Brook may be one of the schools interested in him. They'd love to get their hands on this guy. First down. DeLuca gets the call again. That time they got nice penetration on the line. Number 58 getting in quickly there, along with a couple of his teammates. That was Scott Giraldi, the linebacker.
Well, Giraldi is a good one. He's got 63 tackles this year. He's a tremendous athlete. He's 5'10", he's 210 as junior. He reads so well, and they did an excellent time, that job, Wantagh, that time, in getting a good push off the line of scrimmage.
Twin brothers, Scott Giraldi and Eric Giraldi. Coming in with a play from the sideline is James Sheridan. 10th play of the drive, so Tom Howard, they've had 2 nice long drives.
Yeah, but they came up short on the first one. It's very important they put something on the board after this drive, Barry.
This time they line up with 2 wide receivers, Messina and Sheridan, top of your screen to the right. They'll stay on the ground. DeLuca runs into trouble there. Good job by the defense once again, number 58, Scott Giraldi, coming up from his linebacker spot to make the initial hit and setting up a 3rd and long situation. I believe Torres also came up from the secondary.
Yeah, what they did, they're beginning to do Wantagh now. They're shedding the blockers, and the linebackers are getting a chance to make some plays too. They weren't doing that earlier.
So a big 3rd down play coming up, Thomas. They bring a play in from the sideline. Ray Argentina coming in with the play.
Yeah, we saw Giraldi come up with his 4th tackle of the game so far. He's getting, as Ed said, they're getting off the line. The linebackers are able to make the tackles.
Quarterback Justin Cimello, 1 for 1 so far. 1 for 2 for 14 yards. DeLuca sweep to the right. He's got blocking out there. Has the first down as he's run out of bounds. Inside the 15-yard line at the 13. Anthony Polo driving him out of bounds.
The thing that has to concern Keith Sachs the most, the Wantagh coach, is the fact he said to me, on the perimeter we have been solid all year. DeLuca's proven he can get outside the end and get 8-10 yards a snap.
The key to that play, Joe Purvis, the defensive end, strung it out. He did what he was supposed to do, but the linebackers didn't fill. He cut back, and DeLuca cut back inside of Purvis, did a real nice job of cutting back inside and picking up the first down.
Joe Purvis, the defensive end, an all-county player. DeLuca 15 carries for 73 yards. This could be the final play, Ed, of the quarter with 12 seconds left.
Second time Sayville in the red zone inside the 20 of Wantagh.
Out of the power I now. Mio shifts. They go inside to Argentina, I believe, and Argentina will pick up short yardage. That will do it. The first quarter comes to an end, and Sayville has dominated the first quarter. It's been 3 and out for Wantagh and Sayville on 2 long drives.
Yeah, Sayville's had the ball the whole first quarter, but again, hasn't put points on the board. Let's see in the beginning of the second quarter if they're able to capitalize it. Will Wantagh stop them again?
We'll be back on the LIC Game of the Week. No score after 1. Landers Tom Howard, and along with the rest of our cast of thousands, Ed Ingles, Jovial Joe Giannotti, we should call him the Wizard Joe, along with Craig Filizzola, the anti-wizard, and the rest of our great crew, Dan Lippenholtz. And Ed, big play coming up here, 2nd and 8 from the 12th time of possession that first half.
11 minutes for Sayville, 56 seconds for Wantagh. Wantagh only 3 plays from scrimmage.
Out of the I formation, Sheridan to the right, Newberger to the left. DeLuca up the middle. DeLuca driving inside the 5, very close to the first down. Had to get the ball to about the 4. It'll be a yard shy.
Another thing he does so well is DeLuca. He's not just a power runner. He's got excellent balance. He gets a crease. He's got very good vision, and then he darts through it. He's got more speed than you think he would have for a guy that big.
His ability to follow his blockers is what amazes me. I mean, he sets up his blockers. He follows them and sets them up and looks like he's able to get in the end zone from 5 yards out right now. All he needs is 1 or 2 blocks to string him.
3rd and 1. Big play of the game here for Sayville. No score first minute of the second quarter. Class 3 championship. Mio, the fullback, will get the first down. It'll be goal to go at the 2-yard line.
Can't concentrate. What Sayville is saying to Wantagh, if you try to key on DeLuca, we'll hurt you with a Mio or Augustine. We can do that.
What they need to do is key on the line of scrimmage, because it doesn't matter who's carrying the ball. It's getting off the line of scrimmage. Right now, Sayville is beating Wantagh up front, and that's the key to the whole game so far.
Line Norton, Gallo, Reeser, Ziss, and Petrosino. Dominating play here. DeLuca has 36 rushing touchdowns. Second to Jason Gwaltney, 40 of the year. Let's see if he gets his 37th. He's to the goal line, and he is in. Touchdown number 37 for John DeLuca, and Sayville draws first blood.
A huge drive. It started back at their 29-yard line, probably went 16 or 17 plays, and they made a good play Wantagh that time. They got 3 people on DeLuca, still could not deny him to go the 2 yards.
You can't get him from 1 yard or 2 yards out. That's really a key. But when you talk about stats, you can throw a lot of stats out the window. Right now, here's a stat for you, Barry. 24 tackles for Wantagh, 1 tackle for Sayville so far in the game. Sayville's up 6-0 going on 7.
Nick Ventucci, the holder. The ball down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Stephen Pallas, who's hit 24 of 27 extra points. The team, 46 of 51. When Pallas was out, Sheridan was near perfect, 23 of 24. So you know they've got a good kicking game. Back with more. Right now, Sayville leads it 7-0 on the LIC Game of the Week. Were probably underdogs, especially according to the Wizard of Hempstead Turnpike, Joe Giannotti, who we know what he predicted. He stayed on that Wantagh bandwagon, Eddie, but right now you have to jump on that Golden Flashes bandwagon. A very impressive start to this game.
What Joe didn't know is Sayville has all this experience in their offensive line. These guys have played together 2 or 3 year starters. They're outstanding offensive line. 16 plays, 71 yards, and again, as Tom said, when you dominate the line of scrimmage, you win the game, and they're going to wear out Wantagh. Neither team is too deep, and if you're going to play defense, you get more tired than you do playing offense.
You certainly do, Ed, and a key really now is for Wantagh to come back. They're a great offensive team. They have a lot of weapons. They have to take their time. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, Sayville's going to score 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game. That's not a big deal being down 7-0. It's how you react. They're not used to being down.
Good point, Tom. And Wantagh's got some great returners here. Let's see if they could get something going on the return here. Take it at the 10-yard line. And a fine tackle at the 21-yard line. So not a great return right there. And it looks like number 57 again. That was Ed Reeser who made the tackle on the return. And it is going to be 1st and 10 Dan Neugebauer of Sayville also on the tackle.
When Wantagh's only possession, they had 3 plays, all pass plays. They've not run the ball on the ground yet, which is a little surprising. And that first drive, they stayed strictly in the air, deep in their own territory, back at the 14-yard line.
So Wantagh takes over 1st and 10. Muscarella has single coverage matched up against Sheridan on the near side. They'll give on the handoff, and looks like Procida will pick up short yardage, maybe about 4, as he carried up the middle. Let's give you that offensive line. Connor Cohn, Neil Walsh, Pete Ligori, Scott Giraldi, and Steve Genovese. They're not that big. They go 220, 220. Ligori 175 as a center. Scott Giraldi 210 as a junior guard. And Steve Genovese 220. So it's not a huge offensive line, and they give away some size to the Sayville defensive line.
They sure do, but remember, Procida's got 41 touchdowns scored the last 2 years. He's a tremendous offensive force, as is Smith.
Here's Smith, Procida trying to block for him. Look how they string that play out, and he makes a little something out of nothing. Gains 2 yards, Eddie, but we saw some good pursuit on the part of the Sayville Golden Flashes right there, and a good job by Joe Mio again, number 42, and also Billy Connor, the outside linebacker.
Yeah, they had 3 people waiting for him out there. They did not give him any space to run, couldn't get his shoulder squared up until the last moment.
Sayville has good pursuit to the ball. You can see they're taking the right angle to the ball. They're doing a good job up front, and the linebackers and defensive backs are flowing very well to the ball. Brings up a 3rd and a long 2 situation right here. We're going to see how Sayville responds to this.
Einhorn wide to the right, Muscarella to the left. Out of the I formation, Procida and Smith in the backfield. Here's the pitch to Smith behind Procida, and he will get short yardage. Don't think he made the first down. It's shy of about a yard or so.
That's absolutely right. It's going to be short by about a yard. Wantagh has to kick right now. But more important than that, after they kick the ball, they're going to have to start playing defense, or it could be a long night.
John DeLuca, talk about him as running back, made a big tackle right there. They usually do not run to his side because he's so good defensively.
He plays defensive end, exactly, Eddie. 8 sacks for DeLuca and a total of 25 tackles coming in. He's a Hanson Award candidate. Got so many great choices out in Suffolk County this year. Alton Lucas, of course, the incredible Jason Gwaltney, and this young man, Lucas. Procida's left-footed kick high in the air. Sheridan will touch the ball, able to recover it down the sideline and make something out of nothing. Returns to about midfield. Back with a 1st and 10. Excellent field position for Sayville. They lead it 7-0. 8:40 to go in the 2nd quarter. You're watching the LIC Game of the Week on Telecare. I thank some of our great local sponsors, the folks out in the Sayville area, very happy. Things are going right. McGovern's, Montauk Highway, Oakdale, Dutch Door Realty in West Sayville. And right now to the action we go. This time, excellent penetration on the ball carrier. Connor Cohn, number 72, got in quickly and stopped DeLuca for just about no gain on the play.
Yeah, a little misdirection. They pulled people to get the block, but it didn't work because a good job that time. The penetration by Wantagh, as you said, Cohen got inside there, made the good stop, and that's one of the better defensive plays we've seen, but still, and they stop him for no gain. That's what you want to do. Stop Sayville on 1st down. Get away from DeLuca carrying the ball if you can.
Also want to thank the folks at Sayville Ford, Sunrise Highway in Sayville, TDK Heating and Irrigation, Montauk Highway in Sayville, and they cater to the homeowner. We cater to bringing you the best football on Long Island right here. Play action fake. Samello in trouble, avoids the sack, throws deep. He's got Sheridan out there. Grabbed by Messina into the end zone for a touchdown. How about that?
And Barry, we told you Messina is a key. If you let him go on this field, he'll be all over the place, and that puts Wantagh down. They needed to get the sack when they had the opportunity. They missed the sack. Good job by Samello to scramble and get away, and he just put the ball in the air. Joe Purvis giving great pressure on the quarterback, but not coming up with the sack.
The defensive back, Jared Einhorn, 44, he was looking at the quarterback, not watching both receivers get behind him. He had 2 people running free on that play to the quarterback for Sayville, as Ciamello had a tremendous arm, able to get it. I'm impressed by his arm.
Low snap, ball down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. A stunner on Hempstead Turnpike. The underdog Sayville Flashes have flashed their offense here on the ground and in the air. They lead it 14-0. You're watching the LIC Game of the Week on Telecare. Here and the Wizard, Joe Giannotti, Jovial Joe, not too happy because his prediction of Wantagh with a big victory right now on the losing end, Eddie. But again, you have a team like Wantagh, who has the capability of coming back and scoring quickly, they're certainly not out of this game.
Yeah, but you got to build a little confidence. They've had 2 possessions, 3 downs and out. All of a sudden, they're saying to themselves, they've scored 41 points a game. Whoa, we're not used to being in this position, unable to generate offense.
Tom, you think they took them a little bit too lightly? They dominated Nassau County, beat Bethpage, their arch rival, coming in Sayville. Oh, we just have to stop DeLuca, and maybe we've got this game. And now we've seen they've got a dimension to throw the ball, and a couple of other running backs who can run the ball, too.
No, I don't think any coach coming into a Long Island championship game takes somebody lightly, but I think that they thought they could stop the Sayville offensive line. I think the line of scrimmage is really the key right now. Sayville has dominated both offensively and defensively the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but you could see that on the pass play. He had plenty of time to deliver the ball after he shook off one defender.
Ball bounces away. Guglielmo will pick it up. No, his teammate, they're in trouble at the goal line. I think it's Muscarella who finally picked the ball up, and at the 1-yard line, and no safety there, but unbelievable turn of events here, Tom.
Yeah, you have to be able to field the kickoff. You can see the up back initially thought he might be able to get it, didn't get it, then it went down and it rolled around the 10-yard line. You have to field it. And then it started to die at the one, so they couldn't let it go into the end zone. They had to pick it up, and he was lucky. Craig Marshall, the referee, was right on top of it. He did get hit at the one. He threw the little beanbag out of the one, said, hey, you're not in the end zone, no safety. But Wantagh is now in deep trouble.
I don't think they've been behind in a game all year because, of course, they dominated Bethpage, the 2 games that were their toughest games going in. So let's see what happens here. Procida lines up in the backfield in the end zone. Likewise, Caracappa barking out signals. He'll throw on first down. Throws out to Smith. It's intercepted by Sheridan off the hands of Smith. And the incredible feats continue for Sayville. It's 21-0.
Wide open, Smith had to go up a little bit to make the catch, couldn't put the ball away. Sheridan just stepped right in front of it, grabbed it. Easy. You won't get an easy 6-pointer that job, a defensive back. Sheridan with a good hand.
No, he won't. He actually went through one receiver's hands and into his, so it was a soft one. You couldn't drop it and into the end zone. I'm surprised they put the ball up, but I do know coach's philosophy down there. They said trying to run out, everybody's going to come. Maybe I could just pick it up and get out of my end zone, get out to the 10-yard line. But unfortunately now it looks like Wantagh may be down 21-0, and they're maybe looking at a long night.
A shocking story unfolding here. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 3 for 3 for Palace, and it is now 21-0. 7:35 to go in the first half. You're watching the LIC Game of the Week on Telecare. A happy group of Sayville Golden Flashes, Eddie. Unheralded, they came out of Suffolk County with a lot of people not knowing much about them. They knew about John DeLuca, but they have seen there is more to this team. A defense, a running attack, and a passing attack with Justin Simella.
People questioned the division out in Suffolk County because West Hampton and Amityville, 2 strong teams, had moved down to Division 4. So people said, well, maybe Division 3 isn't so strong this year. So who did Sayville really beat? Well, they're showing tonight who they beat.
And they struggled a little bit against Half Hollow Hills West, my school in Dix Hill.
Yeah, remember, Half Hollow Hills West has great speed. They're a very good team. They beat Huntington, who's another great team in Division 3. So they've played some real good teams also.
Almost fighting for the ball again. This time Guglielmo, who's returned one for a touchdown, will bring it out to about the 27-yard line end.
Well, they've had bad field position. 4th time they've had the ball. First time started from the 14, the second time from the 23, the last time from the 1. But it hasn't made much difference because they've been unable to make a first down in this game. That, to me, is really surprising.
Ed, we've been joined in the booth by Chad Smith, former high school All-American, played on that great Rutgers Cup team of 72 that went undefeated. He and Derek Smith were a great passing combination. We'll welcome him to the booth after this next play. He's got a big smile on his face because his Sayville team may be headed for another Rutgers Cup should they win this one today. On first down, let's see how they respond here. Caracappa will hand off, and again that defense stuffs the play. Not much happening as they went to Smith, I believe, on that play. Let's go and let's talk to Chad right now. Chad, first of all, your take on this incredible start to this game.
Well, they got a great team. They really have a terrific running attack, and they've just been pounding it and banging it all year long, and they're doing the same thing tonight. They don't really have to do much special. They can throw the ball if they have to, and we're sitting in the stands, and it's so nice to be up here. Thank you very much for having me up here. It's really a pleasure. It's nice to get the feet warmed up and feel the toes again, but they're doing terrific. They're doing really great tonight.
Caracappa airing it out. He's got Muscarella wide open. The defender was caught on that play. Muscarella will take it to the house. 72 yards on the play. It was Neugebauer who got caught, I believe, there, the defensive back.
Well, you see how they can strike. We talked about the ability of their quarterback, a really outstanding quarterback. Caracappa came in, having thrown for almost 1,500 yards. He had 3 wide receivers out. The defense really did not react to what was going on, and that allowed Muscarelli, who had 13 touchdowns coming in, which was a county record, to pick up his 14th touchdown grab of the year.
Well, it was Dan Neugebauer who was chasing him, so missed assignment right there. The way he aired that ball out, Chad, it looked like you were throwing that football 32 years ago.
Well, thank you very much, Barry. You and I go back a very long time when you were working for a small mom-and-pop operation called Cablevision, I believe. Yeah, small little outfit, local outfit. It's a beautiful throw, and my receiver, Derek Smith, could do that all the time.
It's grown quite a bit since then. Procita's kick is good. And psychologically, no good, I beg your pardon. That could come back to haunt him a little bit later. Time out of the field. We'll be back. Wantagh's first touchdown. They had no first downs in the game, but with that one-play strike ability, Eddie, they can never be out of a football game. We'll be back. You're watching the LIC Game of the Week on Telecare. Glorious strike on the arm of Eric Caracappa, his 23rd touchdown pass, as Ed alluded to. He's been a terrific quarterback, baseball player who would like to go to New Hampshire, apparently. They're interested in him. 1AA fine program, but he's had a terrific 2-year career. And speaking of great careers, let's bring again Derek Smith's buddy, Chad Smith, no relation. Of course, you went on to play at Penn State for a little bit. And what are you doing right now? I believe you've got an American Airlines hat on top of your head.
Yeah, well, you never miss an opportunity to advertise. You know, I work for American Airlines. I've been a captain for them for about 15 years, been working for them for about 20 years. So I love it. It's a thing I really absolutely love to do. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do something I love to do. And it should have been the other way around. It was Derek, no relation, Smith. And it wasn't Chad, no relation, Smith. It went the other way back in high school. Yes.
Let me ask you about, of course, your days, your recollections at Sayville and that great 72 team. We'll talk to you about that after this play. Sheridan picks it up at the 10 to the 20, up the middle. I checked that. It is not Sheridan on the return. For Sayville, returning the football there was Sheridan. I do correct myself. So it's 1st and 10. Chad, come back, if you will, for a moment. What was your fondest memories back in those 70s, the early 70s? Turn the clock back a little bit.
Well, the fondest memories were actually the guys that played with me. They made me look extremely good. I had a great receiver, as you said, Derek Smith, and the tough guys up front were the guys that really made it all happen. We had a bunch of tough little Italian guys, Johnny Fucarino, Billy Costanzo, Paulie Young, Tommy Lotterman, all those guys. They really made it happen for me.
17-15 win or 15-13 win over East Islip. People remember that. They'll stay on the ground here, and Mio will not get much, maybe a yard play, but it's a great community, Sayville. They've always had a great tradition of football dating back more than 50 years ago, and it's great to see them. I guess you got a lot of pride. A lot of you and your old buddies are here rooting them on today.
Absolutely. We were out in the parking lot at about 2:30. We were supposed to be there at 2:30. I got there about 3 due to the traffic jam out there, but Bobby Neugebauer, whose son Danny is playing, I tried to talk Bobby into coming up with me, and he should have come up with me. He's a big part of this tradition. He's got kids that have played for 10 years now.
And you look at the crowd on the far side. You, of course, didn't play a Long Island championship. It would be great to see you do it. Here's the pitch to DeLuca, and tripped up. Nice play once again by Scott Giraldi. The junior linebacker came up and made a fine defensive play.
Barry, this is a key stand right now also for Wantagh. They get the ball back and force Sayville into a punting situation, get a touchdown there right back in the ball game. So this really is a key play coming up right now on a 3rd and about 7.
We've seen Sayville able to throw the ball in these situations, though, 3rd and longer yardage, and that's the key for them to show that multiplicity in their offense, and they've done that so far.
No question about it. Big 3rd down play. 5:20 to go here in the 2nd quarter, and Sayville with a surprising 21-6 lead on Wantagh. Now they line up with a wide receiver to the right. 2 for 3 passing, and now they'll look to throw. He's got a receiver out there, and Einhorn just gets a piece of it as he tipped the ball away and from the 6'1", 165-pound cousin of John DeLuca.
Looked like Einhorn was playing the quarterback's eyes and not the receiver. He was fortunate again. The receiver got behind him, Tom, but that time because he was playing the quarterback's eyes, got his hands up quickly and went for the ball, which is what you always talk about.
And you do the ball in the air, you go at his highest point, you try to take the ball down, and then Cimino, if he would have put the ball a little more loft on that ball, that would have been another 6 because the defensive back let him get behind him.
But again, we saw Cimello's arm, and Chad Smith likes what he's seen of this young quarterback who replaced Zach Kirshner. He's confident. He's a gunslinger, too. He's got that gunslinger mentality, a gambler. And a poor kick off the side of the foot by Joe Mio goes out of bounds, and the Wantagh offense will have it in great field position up at the 49-yard line when we return on the LIPA Game of the Week. With his team huddled behind him as they go to the line of scrimmage at midfield, Eddie, 1st and 10. They've had no first downs. All they've had is a 72-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, that one first down, the touchdown pass, but they've got good field position for the first time in this game, the Warriors.
All right, up at midfield. 3 wide receivers set. They send Smith in motion. Quick pitch to Smith. Oh, and a great open field tackle by Sheridan. He made the stop right there.
Boy, did he read that. He had that. The scouting report, they looked at the scouting report, and they said, when Smith's out there, they want to get him isolated one-on-one. As soon as he touched the ball, you hit him. And Sheridan said, thank you, I will.
And you saw the defense adjust to that. Rob Haas told us before the game, they have watched every film that Wantagh has played this year. They know, he said, a big fear is not just with him running the ball, but make sure that you also, when he catches the ball, we want to get him, and they did.
Smith came in catching 15 passes for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns to go along with over 1,200 yards rushing and 15 TDs on the ground. He'll stay on the ground here. Again, Sayville's defense meets the test, got back to the line of scrimmage and drove him back. Zach Gallo, the 231-pound sophomore, and John DeLuca, the strong defensive end, moving in on the play.
Goes back to winning the battle of the line of scrimmage. Sayville has won most of the battles of the line of scrimmage, and that especially they try to spread them out with some wide receivers. But again, winning the attacking the line of scrimmage, they're not more aggressive in this game than probably they are during the regular season. Sayville, they're basically a read and react. But Coach Haas had said we're going to be more aggressive in this game.
Okay, and who would have thought at this point with 3.5 minutes to go that there would be no first downs from Wantagh, and if they don't get a first down here, they may go into halftime with no first downs.
And 10 yards rushing between Procida and Smith of each gain over 1,000 yards. Caracappa in trouble, runs into his own man, his knee goes down. They say no, it's complete far side to Kennyane. Kennyane will get maybe 4 yards on the play, but it looked like his knee might have gone down, but the official was right there.
Excellent job by Ray Argentina, 5'10", 186 senior, had 40 tackles, 3 sacks. He really tied up the quarterback. They made the pass complete, but brings up a 4th down. Wantagh is going to have to give up the football.
And you saw Rob Haas, the Sayville coach, on the field yelling, but Craig Marshall was right on the play the whole time. He says, no, he was laying back. He had his right hand on the ground. He threw it, or left hand on the ground, threw it with his right hand.
Tom, I think they're going to go for it. 4th down. They have that much confidence in their offense. Remember what West Babylon did? They went for it against North Babylon from a yard out. Didn't go for a field goal, and indeed they are going for it. Einhorn and Muscarello to the right and to the left. Single coverage on both great receivers. Now Smith comes in motion. Caracappa looking, scrambling. He's going to try to run. He's got the first down. 35, and almost fumbled. He coughed it up. Loose ball. Let's wait. Big pile up there. The officials step in. Sayville thinks they've got it. I think the young man came out with the ball, and it is Sayville ball.
Sayville had the ball. They were out of the huddle saying, here, and the officials are still digging through the pile.
Timeout back with 2:21 to go. Caracappa gets the first down to the team that rarely turns it over, gives it up here, and it's a first down for Sayville when we return on the LIPA Game of the Week. Billy O'Connor, that freshman, might have been the guy who came out with the football. Here we go on 1st and 10. They have all 3 timeouts remaining, and DeLuca off the left side of the line breaks 1 tackle. Einhorn wrestles him out of bounds. Clock stops with 2:15 to go, and a pickup on the play of about 6 or 7 by John DeLuca, the 4-year starter, who in 1 game this year, Eddie, had 383 yards and 7 touchdowns against East Hampton on only 21 carries. In another game against Hauppauge, also 7 touchdowns.
DeLuca, remember, gets stronger, Tom, as the game goes along.
Yeah, he does, and it's a key right now for Wantagh. They're down 21-6. They didn't capitalize. They cannot let Sayville put 1 more on the board before half. There's only 2:15 to go. They have to make sure that Sayville does not score again in this half.
Look at 20 carries for 91 yards. As they work out of the eye, he gets another call here. Slowed up, but picks up the first down as he crosses to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of about 5.
What's difficult for Wantagh, they cannot let DeLuca pick up big yardage on first down. That was an 8-yard pickup on 2nd and 2. That really swings the balance Sayville's way. It's important for Wantagh on this first down to stop them and make them go second 8 or 9 on this.
That's 1st and 10. Again, both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Sheridan lines up just out of your picture to the right. Everybody else in tight. They'll hand off on the draw. DeLuca, big hole. Einhorn can't stop him. Can Muscarella? And Muscarella just rides him to the sideline. Couldn't tackle him. Just forced him out of bounds.
You know, one of the keys to the game, Barry, I think, is that Steve Nastro, who is a very small but quick nose guard, is being handled. He's being handled up front, and it's opening up a lot of holes in the middle. And then you're going to see the double team by Sayville at the point of attack, and the Wantagh defensive line just isn't matching up with the offensive line of Sayville.
They're getting in mismatches, Barry. And that time, Mio was so strong, he broke 3 tackles, too. Once he gets in the secondary, he just rolls like a tank.
Well, another big gain from the 47, and they mark the ball at the 26. So it's a gain of 21 yards, I believe. Again, you see the Sayville band getting ready to celebrate at halftime with a great performance, and it's been a great performance so far by the Sayville Golden Flashes. Again, thanks to all the great folks in the Sayville community sponsoring the game. Bill Suko, who's a Sayville football grad, and at the Bayport House Restaurant. Eddie, we had a chance to eat out there last year. One of the sponsors of the game has got a great place out there in that landmark restaurant, and other great folks. Christopher's out in their great pizza place, and McGovern's also sponsoring the game. So a lot of good eateries. We're going to have to get out there to that Sayville.
Well, let's hope it doesn't go triple overtime. Maybe we make it tonight.
We may have to send out for an order here. Here we go. Here's DeLuca up the middle. DeLuca driving hard. Will pick up good yardage and see if they call a timeout. 135, 134. No timeout here as they mark it at the 20. It's a gain of 6.
Showed another dimension to Luke. Instead of running over people that time, he made just a little cut, ran away from the defense, and picked up extra yards. So he's more than just straight ahead runner, Tom.
Yeah, he can take the ball. And you can see right now they're spread out. Let's watch what DeLuca does here.
He gets the call off the right side. Wantagh desperate to try to stop him. Remember, they have a good place kicking, guys, so if they get into field goal range, which they certainly are now, and I believe they'll take a timeout here. Nope, they'll move the chains, so they momentarily stop the clock. Sayville has 2 timeouts remaining.
No, they have all 3 of their timeouts left, Barry. Wantagh has the 2 timeouts. Sayville has all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and plenty of time. It's 1 minute left to go. They have a good passer and a great runner, so they're in good shape.
Ciamello. Sweep to the left, DeLuca. And a fine tackle in the open field that time. Number 52 coming up and making the big play there and breaking it up right there. And number 58 also coming up on that play was Scott Giraldi, and it looked like a big play indeed.
Well, Giraldi had to shed the blocker. Mio was on him. He had to get rid of the blocker and then make the tackle. Big play by Giraldi.
We're down now to 49 seconds to go. 2nd and 9 for Sayville. The ball at the 14-yard line. DeLuca 25 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown. Scott Ciamello barks out signals. And this time it is number 32 getting the call again. And DeLuca will be stopped. Very short game, clock ticking. They still have 2 timeouts remaining. They call 2 plays in the huddle there, so no timeout here. Down to 33 seconds and counting. Ciamello handing off to DeLuca. Nice hole. Cuts it back. And he's down inside the 5. It'll be goal to go. They'll call a timeout here. Tom Howard with 25 seconds.
I'll tell you something. Great play selection. Great clock management right now. Now they use their 2nd timeout. They still have 1 timeout left. They didn't pass the ball, but they set you up for pass. Wantagh started to drop back, which is a draw to DeLuca.
1st and goal at the 4. 25 seconds to go. DeLuca off the left side will try to get away, but a great job initially by number 58, Scott Giraldi, who's been all over the field, slowed him up, and then he got help on the finish that time.
Well, Giraldi came in with 63 tackles. That is his 8th tackle of the game. He did an excellent job to shed the blocker and slow down the ball carrier until he got help.
Now, my belief, they used their last time out just now, Barry. They have to put the ball in the air. You can't afford at this point to try to run the 10 yards to get in because you won't have any more plays. So with 17 seconds left, they're going to be putting the ball in the air. The key right now, I believe, is pressuring the quarterback. Don't give him time to throw the ball. If he has time, he's going to pick you apart.
Well, Wantagh obviously will do that, but the question is, will they change their defense? They've been pretty basic in this game. The 5-3, even though they've been manhandling the game, Tom, they've stayed in their basic defense.
Yeah, you can use the 5-3, though. You can do a 5-3. You can have an inside blitz. You can have an outside blitz. You can have everybody coming, so they can put 8 men in the quarterback's face.
Hope you're enjoying the action. We've got more great football coming your way on Telecare. And right now, with just 17 seconds left, no timeouts remaining. Cannot get a sack here if you're Semello. Got to get rid of the ball. They'll play action fake. Rolls to the right. He's got a lane. He's in trouble. Down at the 7-yard line, and Wantagh comes up huge with a big defensive play there.
The trouble with that is when you run out of real estate, you're inside the 15-yard line, the quarterback rolls out, the receivers go in the end zone. Unless they come back to the quarterback, he's got no place to throw it, and that's where the quarterback got to run with the ball.
Eric Girardi came up and made that hit with a great stick, and it actually gave Wantagh some momentum going into the locker room at halftime. They are charged up right now. They may be down 21-6, but they feel good about themselves.
They needed to make a big defensive play in this game. Wantagh had not done that, giving up 3 touchdowns, but that may get him going, making a big defensive stop there.
And turn the clock back a week ago. Stony Brook University, North Babylon stops West Babylon on a 1-yard line. Came out in the second half, even trailing by 7, dominated the second half. Will we see that again here today after a big defensive stand time?
Well, there's a possibility of that, but remember now, the team that can use the ball on the ground is Sayville, not Wantagh. Wantagh hasn't shown me their ability. Yeah, they can do it, but they haven't shown me a thing because of Sayville's defensive line. Do they have a first down, or they have no first down so far in the first half? Maybe one. They cannot move the ball. They haven't done it in the air, so they have to talk. Keith Sachs will talk in the locker room at halftime and adjust, but it will be a lot nicer. I don't consider these two the same as the North Babylon, West Babylon.
Wantagh just one big play offensive. I mean, one play of any note, a big touchdown pass, 72 yards. Other than that, they have been shut down, and the diversity of Sayville has impressed me with their offense. The line scrimmage, they won that battle, Sayville, but their attack is more than just a Luca running. They've got change of pace running backs, and they can throw the ball.
All right, you see the big crowd. They've enjoyed a good one right now. We'll be back with our special halftime guests. We invite you to stay tuned, and we'll hear from Father Tom Hartman. Yes, Father Tom making an appearance here in Hofstra. That's a delightful interview coming up. A lot more when we return on the LIC Game of the Week.